so fetch.
Hey y'all, welcome back to the channel. If you are new here, welcome. My name is Kaiya, and today we are finally going to be checking out the brutal death metal band Suffocation. I'm very excited, obviously, because I wore a black dress. Yeah, she's a mini dress. She's a mini dress. I thought I wanted to dress up fancy for such a special occasion on the channel. It's also the month of Thanksgiving, so you know, dinner with the fam, y'all know how it is. Suffocation, here we are. I want to give a shout out to one of my Discord members called Two-Headed Fetus, or THF. One of my lovely mods and viewers, just an all-around amazing person. And yeah, he specifically gave me all of these songs with some, you know, suggestions from other people in my Discord, but these are like some of his main suggestions from an EP and 2 records today, spanning from 1991 to 1995. We're going to take a small discography dab through Suffocation and their discography. It's going to be quite fun. So shout out to you, Fetus. You know I love you with all of my heart, and I very much appreciate you giving these song suggestions for today's video. I'm really excited. I've heard a lot about Suffocation, and I think this is our very first brutal, technical death metal band that we've had on the channel. That is what Metal Archives is calling them. So I think this is our first one. And I'm super excited. So if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please feel free to do so. I'm documenting my entire new metalhead journey into metal and listening to metal for the first time. So if that sounds interesting to you, then go ahead and hit that subscribe button and join our community. We would love to have you. We also have a Discord. It is called the Mosh Pit. There's an invite link down below in the description, and I have a PO box also in the description if you want to send something to be featured in our metal unboxing videos. Before we get into the video, it is thrash giving time in November. Thrash giving is our next monthly event here on this channel, which means I'm hosting a fundraiser this month. Our charity is a local animal shelter called Brother Wolf Animal Rescue. Brother Wolf Animal Rescue is a no-kill animal shelter that works to save the lives of as many animals as possible in the western North Carolina region. Each year, Brother Wolf saves around 9,000 animals thanks to kind community-based donations, as they receive no government funding. To Brother Wolf, being a no-kill animal shelter means to do absolutely everything necessary to best ensure a live outcome. They consider the animal's quality of life, community safety, and whether it's realistic to manage aggressive or difficult behaviors or health conditions in a home without risk to people or other animals. North Carolina is one of the worst states in the country for the euthanization of sheltered animals, according to a national study. So you can donate now to help Brother Wolf Animal Shelter in their mission to save as many animals as possible and help someone in the North Carolina region find their new best furry friend. All right, are you ready for Suffocation? Let's go ahead and get into it. session. I really like the production so far. I really like it. And they have like these little transitions. They're almost like halftime. It's really nice. It's in the pocket. As far as like the like mixing goes, his vocals are definitely a little buried, I will say. But I really like the placement so far of where the bass and electric guitar are, and the drums are super forward, like right here. Bass and guitar are sitting comfortably for me, like right here. Super, super forward, and his vocals are about here. They're really nice though. They're holding the pocket. So far, it's super in the pocket, and these riffs are like juicy, juicy, meaty. I like it. I like it so far. Wow. Okay. All right. Great. Really strong start. I just let it ring out because so brutal technical death metal. I'm assuming it's just a lot of stuff. Wow. What is that? She's like a little mohawk thing. Get yourself back under there. I'm assuming. Oh, she's just right there, isn't she? Okay, great. We just have a little faux hawk thing right here. Don't laugh at me. Okay, we're gonna tuck her back in. I'm assuming it's just a bunch of like. It feels like all of these chapters just being punch. New. We're gonna do this one thing, then we're gonna do this one thing, then we're gonna do this one thing, and it just keeps going and going. That's what I got. That's why I didn't pause it. I noticed a lot of stuff though. I can't keep up with all of it. Really meaty riffs. There was a section where they kind of like kept things sort of steady like this for probably about half the song, and then it's almost like a drop. It like physically felt like a drop, and like they opened up the song with this like guitar part that kind of like had this beautiful reverb or something to it. And it just opens up the whole song, and then they just take it from there, and they're like, we're going to do all these different things. We're going to introduce this thing, this thing, this thing. And I really, really liked that section. I loved that section. A lot of really good moving parts, strong riffs, time changes. Definitely getting the technical stuff. I'm not going to explain all of it because it kind of went over my head and I need to re-listen to it. But I did notice it. I definitely think the only thing that I don't like about this overall mix is the mix in general. I'm not hearing too much of his vocals. I am getting like Cannibal Corpse vocals. Or like, is it Dying Fetus too? Kind of those burpy, staccato kind of. But I like it. I like it. Really strong start. I like the technical stuff. Death was about like the most technical that I had really gotten that I remember. We had some pretty technical stuff though. It just hasn't been like considered brutal death metal, I guess. This song solo is absolutely phenomenal. I agree. Wow, this is like from Suffocation's actual YouTube channel, and you're telling me you have 6 comments on this song? Death metal at its absolute finest. Yeah. I definitely think the drop was my favorite part. I have to like re-listen to it. There was like one mini riff in there that really grabbed me. But otherwise I'm kind of like still trying to figure out if I like it or not. But I did like that one drop. So let's go look at the lyrics, shall we? So, Fetus said that Human Waste was an EP. I'm guessing it's a full-length album from 91. 6 songs. I guess that could be considered an EP. I mean, I released a 6-song EP and called it that, so I don't know. Let's see. Ricardomat Studios in New York. Yeah, they're from New York. That's insane. They look like a really cool group of dudes. I was like looking at pictures of them. They look like an old like 70s metal Led Zeppelin-y, like just like a more metal Led Zeppelin. Force-fed immobilization, man-made liquid controlling my limbs. Ew. I want to die, no reason for living, dealing with complications life brings. A corpse with no thoughts, no feelings or perceptions of life. The pleasures of death I foresee. Nightmares and daymares combining. Interesting. I like that. Kind of a play on words. To torture my being, this torture inhibits my life. The world is a graveyard of fools left to cope. With the torment and regret of man now deceased, ghouls are released to destroy the race, which we call human beings. Interesting wordplay here too. Deceased beings, kind of, a little bit. I like the way that the lyrics are. It's very poetic in a way. Existence is torn from my soul. Perdition is what is believed to be seen. Suffering from the inside. Nefarious is the way. You choose to be left with no will to live. My intestinal wall begins to cave in. Trapped, as they say, I begin to rot here as I lay. Ew, intestinal wall? Catatonia. This one's not approved, but it says catatonia, a behavioral syndrome marked by an inability to move normally. It can be associated with schizophrenia and other mental illnesses. Catatonia may involve symptoms such as staying still, fast or strange movements, lack of speech, and other unusual behavior. Interesting. Interesting. Nothing about this song. I have a feeling we're not going to get much from these. Jesus Wept. What do you think about this record? Let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. We're going to continue on in our journey. We're moving on to Effigy of the Forgotten, which I believe, yep, this is considered a full-length album on Metal Archives, released the same year. 9 songs on this one. Okay. So then, Effigy of the Forgotten full-length album. This also has Jesus Wept, which was on the EP. And then, I wonder if did they take any Infecting the Crypts? Did they take any other ones? Synthetically Revived and Mass Obliteration. I wonder if those are on here. No. Oh yeah, Mass Obliteration is on here. Infecting the Crypts is on here. Yeah. Okay. So they took, what, 3 songs off of this EP and then put them onto this full-length record that they released. So really, they only came up with maybe like 6 more songs, recorded 6 more songs. Wow. Sorry. Okay. Great. Interesting. So I wonder what the story is behind that. If you know the story of like this EP and the album that was released the same year, let me know. The next song we're going to listen to is called Liege of Inveracity, and again, it's off of their 1991 full-length album, Effigy of the Forgotten. I really liked that. I liked it. Had a nice bit of reverb to kind of open it up. The other thing I'm noticing about Suffocation, so I'm definitely getting like death vibes and Cannibal Corpse vibes. Just like the old school death metal, very technical in the way that they're like producing these songs. So in the same fashion as death, this piece of hair is bothering me so freaking much. Oh, she's still there. Okay. It's like a little baby mohawk peach fuzz. You know what? We're just going to let her ride. She's just going to have to... No, I can't. Okay. That's a little better. God. Sorry. They're very technical, and I'm noticing that in the same fashion as death, every single note, every single part of their song has a meaning, was meticulous and thought out. And their transitions between all of these different parts are like buttery smooth. And I like how in this song it's kind of like they give you just like this flat line, like it's like, yeah, this is a song. And then it's just like, oh, we're going to crank up the speed, then we're going to pull back, crank up the speed, and then that's when they really start opening up the pocket. And they're kind of just like giving it to you in little bits, but they started off kind of short and small, short and sweet, Am I making any sense? I don't know. I like what I'm hearing so far. overwhelmed. I'm getting overwhelmed because I'm noticing so much. First off, before we get too further into the song, the baby solo. Okay, there was a baby solo. She started as quickly as she ended. Okay, and it was punchy, just how she just like was there and then she was gone, and then it's like they're really good about these, like, you know, it's not halftime, but it's just like, you know, it's in the pocket. She's a groove, you know, we're grooving and then we're fast with double bass, and then we're grooving fast double bass, but it's like the transitions are so nice. And the double bass layering, the difference is like, oh, meaty. And then they had this fat Dishi, oh my god, the fat vocal that I just did scared the crap out of Kodah, I'm sorry. But the fat breakdown that they just had right before the second solo was money. But yeah, they're playing around with these times, dude. They're playing around with it. They're having a lot of fun. This is now the second song where they've done in the pocket fast, in the pocket fast, and just like kind of bouncing around, super nice transitions. And now the second solo, totally different than the first one, but really, really nice. Okay, let's continue. That's a perfect example of the bum 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 ba da 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 da. Ah, and then that breakdown with those real burpy vocals. Money, and that riff is so like chuggy and in the pocket and delicious. Dun 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 dun. Yeah, fire. Absolutely fire. Fire dankness. I see what you're doing, Suffo. I think what you're doing. The riffs, the drums, the lyrics, all amazing. Everyone always talks about the riff at 251, but no one seems to give attention to the one at 44. Really underrated. It is underrated. She's just quick, and it just is like over like that. She ends really fast, and it's just like she's a little baby one. Oh my god. She's, you know what? Don't judge me for my little mohawk, okay? This song is beastly sounding. These guys were 25 years ahead of time. When you make a sexy riff and it becomes an entire genre. What are people saying about this baby riff? There's 18 replies. Yes. Amen. Groovy! Slam started with pyrexia and internal bleeding. What are we talking about? We're already getting into some salt, and we've just uploaded that. Oh, okay. Let's go to Liege of Inveracity. And now Spooner's liking this. Great. Yeah. Spoonman got the kennel cough the other day. He was not having fun. I was very concerned. It's going around, folks. Side note, if you got pupper tans, kennel cough is going around, so make sure you get your dogs the shot. Okay, it's going around. Where did they record this? Okay, they were in Florida this time when they were recording this. Interesting. So Scott Burns, we know him. He did Cannibal Corpse, right? Is he like the Rick Rubin of producers for metal? So it's interesting that, what is it? Human Waste, their EP, the same year, was recorded 6 songs in New York. Then their album, full length with 9 songs, was recorded in Florida, and they took 3 songs off of that. What are they doing in Florida? Maybe they changed. Maybe that was when they changed labels. Because this was on RC Records, Effigy of the Forgotten, and then Human Waste. Because they bounced around. Yeah, they did. So, yeah, because they've bounced around between a lot of different record labels. They've been on Relapse and then RC Records, and now they're on Nuclear Blast. They were on Roadrunner for a little bit, so they kind of just like bounced around a lot. Interesting that they were on Relapse in 91 and only released an EP with them. What's the second one? Yeah, and then their second album was with Roadrunner. Their first was with RC. Interesting. That always is like so interesting to me, is just like the whole label business aspect of music too, because a lot of people don't care or think that stuff's interesting, but I do. I think it's a part of, it's an interesting part of like the whole behind the scenes aspect, more than just like a band and making music, because that kind of stuff can affect a record and the songwriting process and stuff like that, especially when you're talking about like getting your songs out there, getting them, you know, printed and whatever. So, okay. So you swapped from, what was it, Relapse to RC, huh? Interesting. All right. No notes on this one. So, forced into your mind, passed down through the centuries, cultures will collide. Holy wars for what? Holy book of God, holy book of lies. Chanting scriptures in vain, hoping to allow to rest. Hopeful, peaceful life, compassion, all but gone. Effigy of what's to come. Hopeless, worthless dreams. Sorrow scars your brain. End the week. All is dead. Interesting. I like this kind of rhyme pattern. Vain, several lines later, brain, rest, going into dead. But nothing rhymes with gone, come, or dreams. Come see my light. Misguided fools I shall guide. Grant thyselves all your minds. Liege of Inveracity. Nice. I really like that. It really flows off the tongue really well. I mean, if y'all know, I have my own band, and I've been writing songs for almost 15 years myself. Not that some people might care or might not. I don't know. But I've always been really interested in how other people write songs, and because it's like, kind of like poetry in a way. And it's the way, at least this is written in Genius, seems very poetic. I like it. So, interesting. I'm just really curious about the background of Effigy of the Forgotten and the EP. So, let me know what you think. I just want to take a quick peek at this Mr. Scotty Burns. Yeah, this dude, I think didn't he die? Because this looks like a really, really old photo of him. Yep, that's how I remember him. He worked on Death and he worked on Cannibal Corpse. No wonder. That makes so much sense. Yeah, he was, did Butchered at Birth. He did Leprosy. Yeah, he worked on the Best of Sepultura. Yeah, he worked on Obituary, Deicide. Yeah, so no wonder their stuff sounds like so awesome. Because I really do think that Scott Burns was like cynic. Just the Rick Rubin of metal. of, let me rephrase that, the Rick Rubin of death metal, you know, because we know that Slayer worked with Rick Rubin, and I'm pretty sure there was another band that worked with Rick Rubin. He's worked with a lot of like really mainstream people. I would be very surprised if he would ever work with a death metal band, but maybe, you know. Slayer, I guess, is considered death metal, but they're very like mainstream. There's a big difference between Slayer and Suffocation. That's all I'ma say. Okay. So now we're going into another song off of Effigy of the Forgotten, and this one is called Infecting the Crypts. Somebody keeps farting in this office, and I am not happy about it. Smacked in the face with like all of their technical stuff, because they're doing the same formula as they did in Liege of Inveracity, where it's like they just kind of like give you, just ease you into it, you know. They didn't do anything fancy. They was just smacked you in the face with just typical, just death metal noise, basically. And then the kind of the same thing as they did in Liege. That guttural noise with some reverb. Now, it's pretty tame so far. I'm going to be real. So far, it's pretty tame so far in the song, but I'm waiting. I'm waiting for them to give me some of what they've been giving me. Hard and fast. That's what they've been giving me. Loving these just reverbed out guttural noises. It's money. It's money. And the stops, okay, I forgot to mention the stops in the last time I paused, but they're perfect, especially when they first introduced them. I think they introduced the stops first before they had the first, like, reverbed out guttural before the first verse. I think that's what they did, and it was money because it was like, ba, 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 you know, and it was like, ooh. Sometimes those stops can be, they were really, really clean, but those stops can be really, you gotta practice them. They can be hard to hit, especially if they're not like, if they're a little offbeat because you want them to be, they can be hard to hit. Also, I really liked the one stop they did right before this section. It was just very subtle, one beat, but it's clean. And it's little stuff like that that like, kind of like breaks up the song, gives you a new chapter, but that kind of stuff is hard to nail live, and it's something you really got to practice because it's all about holding the cymbal, you know? It's like you hit the cymbal and then you got to hold it to get, like, make sure it doesn't, like, ring out if you don't want it to ring out, and then you can keep going. Vocals match the staccato of the drums for a bit. Da, 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 da. Like it matches like to a T in that one little section. I like that. Very interesting little layering piece there. Also, baby solo, girl. The tone on that, super clean for what we normally have heard, but it sounded clean to me. And I liked it. Again, very punchy, very straight to the point, sang a lot of things in a short amount of time. That's what these little solos are. Before I say anything, what the heck was that? Hold on. What on earth is that? I don't know why it's making me think of like one of those really tightly packed, like old brooms, you know, like with the straw. It's making me think of that, like on a sidewalk, or like a rake or something. It doesn't sound like an instrument, really. It sounds like a sound that they recorded somewhere else and then placed in there. some sort of like metal, scraping metal or something like that. Really interesting way to break up the ending of the song. Because they could just like do the speedy stuff like they do before they end. But I love that they peel it back. They give you just the bass, giving you this like riff. And this interesting, weird, it's almost giving me like, I don't know, it's going to sound weird. It's giving me kind of like Slipknot-y, Iowa desert vibes. I don't know. It's making me think of metal, like actual metal scraping on something kind of vibes. Very interesting. Love that layering piece. Love the stops in this. Illustrator, please. I don't care if you've updated successfully. Goodness. Okay, I get it. Oh man, this band is really technical. Death. Atheist, unquestionable presence from 91. Technical and catchy. Yes, it definitely is. Breakdowns, delicious. Solo, delicious. Okay, let's look at the lyrics. Infecting the crypts. And we're still recording, right? Infecting the crypts. Dun, dun, dun. That bass riff made me think of New Slaves by Kanye West for some reason. Dun, 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 dun. No, it's not infecting the... Yeah, it's infecting the crypts, but not the way I spelled it. Crypts. There you go. Loud. Alright. Same album. Nothing on here. Let's see. Exhume the wretched body from its timeless slumber, thrashing the tomb to reveal what's inside. A maggot-infected corpse stares dismal, inhabited by worms chewing holes through your carcass. These ancient lands beckon to the burial of humans, the unfertile soil infecting the crypts of the once deceased bodies, not through decomposure, ending their peace, their chances of hell. A vomit-type substance is formed from its innards. A festering slime that reveals inside. The substance erupts and its stomach bursts open, forced down your throat to regurgitate life. Wow. The visuals that I'm getting from that. Force of the dead ending the one they defied, corrupted. Ooh, I like that. Chosen in pain, end in the words of the rain. Wow, killing the substance of the dead, I am your pain, your fire, incensed by the ones that dead out of the rain. Most of the dead that sustained out of the pain, your fire, incensed the ones of the dead out of your rain. Interesting. There's a lot of like wordplay in this. Pain in the words of the rain. Dead, I am your pain, your fire. Incensed by the ones that dead out of the rain. So we're swapping now. Mentioning dead, then pain. Again, like we did in that second line. Dead and then rain. Different type of rain. Interesting. That is like such wordplay. That is such wordplay. Mentioning nothing but pain, rain, fire, different type of rain. Interesting. I like that. I don't know what it means, but I really like the wordplay of that. This song was also included on Suffocation's previous EP, Human Waste. I just don't. I'm wondering what the deal is on that. What the deal is. They recorded in frickin' Tampa, Florida. So let's just, for the heck of it, because we didn't get much from the song, Scott. Is his name Scott Burns? Yeah. Scott Burns. Let's just say Suffocation. He's an American commuter. Oh, yeah. Didn't we figure out that he stopped doing this to do something else? Yeah. This is the dude. He quit producing full-time to work in computer programming. For what? Sir, we must know these things. Look at all the things that you've done. And you go on to do something as boring as computer programming. Bro. He was crucial to the emergence of Florida death metal scene, and then you go and do frickin' computer programming? It's just such boring work compared to what you're doing. But apparently he's still alive. So, there you go. Dang, Bubba. I guess he just got tired of it. I don't know. What a legend, though. I mean, seriously, he is a legend. I remember being really salty when I first heard that. When I first heard that he left being a producer for that. Like, bro, you're telling me that's... No. I guess I'm just, like, more passionate about music. And if I was a record producer that worked with such legends as, like, Death and Cannibal Corpse and Suffocation, I would be like, let's continue making death metal music, you know? But that's just me, you know? Alright. Next up, we are moving on to another album. This is from 1995. It is called Pierced from Within. And based on my notes, this is the one that they switched a different record label again, and this one is now on Roadrunner Records. So released May 1st, 1995. I think they switched because Breeding the Spawn was a full-length record also on Roadrunner. So they did that, Breeding the Spawn, their second full-length album, and their third full-length album they had on Roadrunner, and then just for the heck of it, Souls to Deny. Then they switched and went back to Relapse Records. Really freaking weird. You know the backstory of that? Let me know. Pierced from Within, let's go. Definitely getting Cannibal Corpse vibes, like straight Cannibal Corpse vibes with this one. First impressions, I think that the production of it and the mixing is a lot better than the previous songs that we had. It just feels like it's a little bit more rounder in sound. Definitely everything kind of like fills the headphones a little bit better. I can hear the bass for sure. She's being plucked and shown a good time, and I can hear it. Sounds very, very good. And they did something. They just did something. Oh, my brain just farted so hard. What do they do? Oh, yeah. They brought everything out, and then panned the one, like, guitar all the way here, and then that's how they introduced the verse. So again, they're doing the same formula. They're kind of just like laying it out, you know, laying it out on butter. They're going to show us the real good stuff in just a minute.
To my church, signed by my doors, burn out for your existence. This is a lucidity. Get to my
overwhelmed, I think this is my favorite song. That whole section right there, girl, that was so meaty, goodness, delicious. Oh, they're just so much, I don't even know what to say. There's just so many little things that they're doing in terms of like the panning and the actual like layout of the song. So they start, draw everything in, pan the one guitar, give you just straight verse, it's whatever. And then they pull it back, pan it here, and then there's little things that they do. They pull it back, and then the one stick click of the drums give you some time changes, give you 2 sticks of the drums, give you the ta ta. Oh, more panning, and then the oh, delicious little tiny things. Oh, I really like it. Oh, that was so delicious. And then, yeah, I think they had, like, some breakdowns in there, too. Okay. All right, Suffo. All right. Little things like that. I can get on board. So, let's continue. Oh. Oh. Earthy. Suffocation songs just go by like that? Am I the only one? This is a 4-minute and 25-second song, and I feel like it's 2 minutes long, if even that. That was like the fastest 4.5 minutes of my life. And I still paused. I feel like that song went by so fast. I'm a little overwhelmed. I'm going to definitely have to re-listen to like all of these songs again, because I feel like I'm not vocalizing as much as I'm noticing. There's a lot of things that they're doing in terms of like their production and the song layout and instrumentation wise that I am noticing. A lot of time changes. Ooh, the bass, the fatty bass breakdown in this song. Oh, it was deep too. She was girthy. Like if you had a subwoofer in your car, girl, you'd be feeling that in your butthole. Okay? I ain't even kidding. I ain't even trying to be gross. I'm just saying that bass, she had some girth to her, okay? Delicious breakdown. Delicious way to like play around with the panning. the little stick click. I think the one little tick of the, the drumsticks is my favorite. And I love that they did two later. They did one and then they did two. And almost like kind of marching band, like you know. Oh, as a transition, just a great way to break up a song. I love it. Suffocation is the kind of band I wish I had. Oh, I'm sorry. As I'm drinking chamomile tea, I'm sorry. It's the kind of band I wish I had heard about when I was a teen. Catching up for lost time now, though, yeah. Are you kidding me? If you were a teenager in the 90s listening to this and you were, like, really into metal or, like, punk or something and you were discovering this music, this kind of music, you know? Even in, like, I feel like I wish I was, like, 10 or so sometimes. Blessed to be here when I am, but sometimes I think of like how cool it would have been to be like 10 or 13 or so in the late 80s, you know, and all of these like death metal bands, and you know, maybe you listen to, I don't know, some harder rock stuff, and now you start discovering all of these different like bands, you know, and then you're in your teens and your late 20s, you're discovering all of this stuff. Nirvana comes out, Red Hot Chili Peppers has their like moment. Oh my lord, you get all the like 90s hip hop, and oh, I tell you, man, they don't make music like they used to. The amount of bass in the breakdown almost made my ears bleed. Yeah, it's a lot. Oh man. Okay, what is this one called? Pierced from Within. From within. Is this a song? So this is the title track. Okay. I don't know why that didn't click for me. This is the title track off this record then. Oh, there's actually notes on this one. Okay, so Scott Burns produced this one too. Definitely has a very Cannibal Corpse-y sort of vibe. So they also recorded this one in Tampa. Roadrunner. Jason Fligman as their management. Hiro Takahashi. Why does that sound like... That's not the same dude that has the kids' books that I've gotten from the metal unboxing, is it? I don't think so. Interesting. 9 songs again. Let's see what these notes say. Penetrate the minds of those misfortune at birth. Murder is etched in the deepest chasms of the soul. Salvation stripped from the origin of existence. This one doesn't have any notes, but let's just see what it says. This one's unreviewed also, but it says murder, violence, and other forms of dark, morally evil human behaviors are ingrained ideas found within all human beings. This concept is supposedly something that we all are unwillingly born with. It is ingrained as a primordial instinct where no matter how civilized or normal we attempt to make ourselves be, it is something that still actively lurks deep down within our human psyche. Interesting. I like the way this person puts it. The idea of how this instinct causes the speculative, never-ending worldwide suffering between our own species is what prompts those born into this world to be labeled as misfortuned. Salvation stripped from the origins of existence. The fact that we are born with these evil instincts causes us to be unworthy of holy salvation. This concept could be tied to the Christian idea of salvation, where all humans are naturally born as sinners and need to repent to Jesus for their sins so that they may be able to enter the kingdom of heaven once in the afterlife. Decree to my darkest dreams, memories of my future, welcome to my church. Ooh, I like that. Sodomize my cross where it now marks your existence. Dismissal for lucidity. Consume my body in blood. Supplicate for death. Obscurity condemns the structure. Spectral abominations. The gathering of souls. Verse 3 is just one line. Befall the rise of inhumanity. I like that. I like their lyrics. They're very poetic. They have some really interesting kind of like play on words and rhyming that they're doing. Nobody on the comments. Alright. Go lay down. Go lay down, big sir. Go. Get your butt in your crate. Go. What? Spoon is coming to say hello. Hi, Mr. Spoon. Hi, Big Stinky Man. Are you feeling okay? Are you feeling okay, Mr. Stain? Big fat man? Yeah. Big fat and stinky, that's what you are. Big fat and stinky. He still has a phlegmy cough, but otherwise he's doing okay. Yeah. He's got a butt roll. I know, a roll of fat that's just above his tail. I'm pinching it right now, it's pretty cute. Yeah, he's a good stinky man. Alright. Let's go ahead and get into our last song. This one is called This one is called Thrones of Blood from the same album, Pierced from Within. In the pocket. Dun, 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 dun. Love that section. So far, meh. So far the song is kind of meh for me. Because we're almost 2 minutes in and there hasn't been anything really except for that like that kind of sludgy groove breakdown that's been there. I know they're holding out on me. So I've mentioned a few times. They ease you into it before they really show you. They show you. So I'm here for it. But so far I haven't heard anything yet that I'm like, yes. Here we go.
The actual golden
I loved the notes for that ba-na-na-na-na little guitar riff thing, because it's such a, like, it's gonna kind of sound weird, but it's such a, like, positive, uplifting note. It almost sounds, I don't know, like a major chord or something like that, where it just sounds like bright, happy, like such a change emotionally from the song that it's a little like, it's like, whoa, a little offsetting, but it like fits, if that makes sense, because the rest of the song is so like sludgy and dark and just like that's like what it is, and then that riff is ba-na-na-na-na, it's just really, really nice. Also, I noticed it. I don't know if you noticed it, but I loved take everything away, panned everything this way. They held it for a little bit longer too, for a few more measures than they used to in the previous song that had this. They held it for about like 4 beats. And then you hear the strings. It's like he's preparing. He's like, he moved his hands in position to get ready to do the riff. And I love that. Love when people have little bits of like studio sound almost, you know. There are people that like try to aim to have a perfect record where, you know, they'll cut out the inhales of breath and stuff like that, and like, you know, your fingers actually making noise on the string, you know. But I love when you get those little things. So I loved being able to hear that, the strings there. Also, they're playing around with the times and the stops in the song too, which is really nice.
Again, I put the tool of my trade.
Wow! Had a false stop. Loved the da-na-na-na-na-na-na, ba-na-na-na-na-na fat riff. Also, where was like this Suffocation through the rest of the record? Because they like opened up and did something totally different in this section here, where the main solo was. That was just so beautiful and big and just, oh, I loved it. I loved it so much. Solo with the double bass is fire. Where was that with the rest of the songs that we had on this? Because I feel like that is so different than what we've experienced in any of the other songs. That just sounds totally like a different band, in my opinion. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they have other songs throughout their discography, I would hope, that would have that sort of like sound, because that solo was fire with a double bass. Fire. Nasty. So good. I didn't like the beginning of it. I'm gonna be real and just say this song started slow. She's a slow burn, because it took them a minute to like get to a place where they could really open it up, but they do save it for this big solo. That's one thing I'm noticing with Suffocation. Okay? They kind of ease you into it, which I do like. I like to be teased, you know, especially when it comes to death metal. So, let's see. Suffocation is just pure punishment, always at their finest on the mid-tempo stuff. Yeah. A little bit of double bass. Definitely just really good instrumentation. So let's see what these lyrics are. Thrones of Blood. Let's see. Kind of sounded too like he had some type of, towards the end, he had a vocal section where it didn't sound as clean or like the same as previous, as like the rest of the song. So it almost sounded like he was like doing his guttural effect or something. Kind of like a megaphone effect or some sort of radio effect. I don't know if I'm just like hearing things, but that's kind of what I got, because it sounded different than the rest of the song. Pierced from within, so nothing on this song. The thought of killing entered my mind some time ago. What possesses an individual to kill? I have often pondered the thought time and time again. Now it's clear to me they want me to be part of this world they have created. I say, F you, don't tell me how to live. I was going to mention, I was thinking about this while I was listening to this song, is that none of the other songs had any like curse words, which I just thought was interesting. So I was waiting for it. And here we are. Here we are. Maybe if I eliminate the people who fit this so-called mold, my pain will finally be released. In my mind, free of thought. The axe stuck hard and fast, splitting the skull in two. She fell instantly. Ew. It's making me think of Hammer Smash Face for some reason. She fell instantly, the blood spewed from where her head used to be. I then struck another blow. Only the lives of others can quench my harsh reality. I received much excitement from these two blows. I must continue to strike her corpse. Once again, I brought the tool of my trade. Okay, I actually understand the concept of this record, this song. This dude that wants to kill, and here he is, butchering this woman, and he lacks it very much. I proceeded to hack several more times. A pile of flesh now lies before me. Definitely like Cannibal Corpse-y vibes. For sure. Will you stop eating that? Stop it. God. You are trouble. Go lay down somewhere else. Don't even think about it. Okay. Definitely Cannibal Corpse vibes, death vibes. But not really a surprise considering we're dealing with Scott Burns. So, very cool. Let's see if there's anything else on this. They're from Long Island, New York. Been active since '88. Talk about death, religion, mankind, society. Now they're on Nuclear Blast. So, interesting that they had Terrence Hobbs leave in '98 and then come back 4 years later, and now he's still with them. Derek Boyer is an original member. Oh, they replaced their vocalist. Huh? To this dude, Ricky Myers. Vocal, wow, they just replaced him too in 2019. Tell me more. Tell me more about this, because that is really soon. Because if they've been around since 88, I mean, I just, this Spooner is okay, honey. There you go. It's okay. Sorry, he's still hacking. Wow, so they replaced their drummer and guitarist, one of their guitarists in 2016. They still have the original bassist, poor bud. He's still hanging on. And then the other guitarist is basically still original. I mean, he was there for, yeah, only, like, for a huge chunk of it. So, I wonder who the original singer was. Do you want to look? Hold on, let's see. Suffocation. It just is so interesting that bands, like, replace their lead singer. You know, that never really used to be a concept that I wrapped my brain around when I was, like, younger and just getting into music, and now I've been in several different bands and gigging a lot here in Asheville and kind of seeing, like, oh, okay, that is something that you can do, is just, is do that. Past members. Frank Mullen, so this dude, former vocalist, he's one of the vocalists to introduce low-pitched guttural vocals, wow, into the death metal genre. Would you say he's like kind of a founding father of like that kind of stuff, death metal? He performed and recorded from 1989 to 2018. So I'm assuming he's just taking a break. Then, let's see. Retired from his musical career after a final tour with Suffocation, dubbed the Farewell Frank Tour. He made his final U.S. appearance as a lead vocalist for the band in their performance at a nightclub Reverb in Reading, Pennsylvania in 2018. Oh, Mullen's performance featured plenty of his signature stage move, the Death Chop. Oh, what is that? From which the tour gets its tagline, Death Chopping North America. Oh, this is interesting. He was succeeded as lead vocalist for Suffocation by Rick Myers, who on several occasions had filled in for him. Mullen later reprised his role for the band's Japanese tour in 2019, before again relinquishing the position to Myers. Wow, so he's just retired. I mean, yeah, he's 52, so... But, I mean... Well, you know, from 88, I mean, you're talking about 98, 08, 2018. I mean, yeah, that's like 30 years of death metal performing, recording, singing, touring, everything. So he started when he was like younger than I am, and so early 20s. Yeah, 30 years is a long time to do death metal, and I'm assuming it's a lot harder on your voice than what, let's say, the Rolling Stones do. We still got Bob Dylan and we still got Keith Richards. Okay, and we still have Anthony Kiedis. We're still gonna hold on to Anthony Kiedis too, okay? But these legends, man, just prepare, okay? We already lost John Prine, so just prepare yourselves. These legends from these decades, the 70s, the 80s, you know, it's gonna be sad, but that's okay. So, I think I would say he definitely had a very long career. 30 years in death metal, it's a long time, and I'm sure he's like sitting comfortable. What an awesome thing to like make it in your band at like 21, be signed to huge record labels. I mean, I'm assuming Roadrunner and Relapse were quite smaller back then, 30 years ago, you know. So that's really, really cool. That's like a cool thing to wrap your head around. Alright guys, that is going to do it for my reaction to Suffocation. I really hope that y'all enjoyed it. As far as my final thoughts, y'all know that I am here for Cannibal Corpse and I am here for Death. Both of those bands ranked really high in my top 30 likes versus disliked. I guess my top 30 ranked video. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. It might make some of y'all salty, but we are going to be doing an end of year rank when 2022 does finally come to a close. So who knows where Suffocation is going to end up on that on that list. But yeah, this Suffocation, they worked with Scott Burns, who worked with Death. He's worked with Cannibal Corpse, so it's not really a surprise that like the overall sound and the technicality, production, mixing, everything reflects that of Death and Cannibal Corpse. So I'm really into it. I definitely think Suffocation has a lot more like Cannibal Corpse in their sound, which, you know, isn't, again, a surprise. But I really like the technicality. It feels simple, but I like it. It's very simple in a way. I like that they ease you into it. It's not like immediate, where I feel like Death is like the entire song from start to finish is like a masterpiece. I feel like Suffocation kind of, again, eases you into it. Like, they'll give you just straight instrumentation before they do a pan or a straight stop, and then they'll like open up. So I really like that they switched it every time, because it was either like a quick stop or the panning of something, or they did a guttural with some reverb to like kind of open up the pocket, and then they really gave it to you. So I think Thrones of Blood, that ending solo, is fire dope nasty. That is something that was not reflected in any of the other songs, at least in my opinion, that we had in this discography dive. That was a totally different sound, and I loved it. I loved it a lot. Great solo, great sound. Loved the layered double bass on it. It was perfect. I loved it. I really liked Pierced from Within and Infecting the Crypts, especially with the pans, the play on the pans. And I can't remember which one had the stops with the little drum click and the thing, but I think it's Infecting the Crypts. Maybe. I don't know, it's one of those, because they both had stops and like little pans, but I love that they flirted with that, and I love, it's just such a creative way to keep a viewer or like a listener engaged and break up so much noise, if that makes sense, you know? So you have like so much and then you like pull everything back and then give it to them again. I definitely think Suffocation is also a master of timing and fluid changes. I really, really liked groove, kind of, not halftime, but just like mid-tempo grooves, and then fast, and then mid-tempo fast with double bass, and just like kind of bouncing back and forth and giving you so many transitions, especially in Catatonia and Liege. Like, there's so many different transitions, and they're just giving it to you for maybe a couple bars before they go into something completely different. And that's something I really, really liked, and that's something that Death also had a lot of too. They didn't have a lot of like melodic stuff, or too many like hard-hitting, I mean, I had a lot of hard-hitting riffs, but it was catchy, but it wasn't like extreme catchy riffs. It was all like in the pocket, you know, and stuff, but where Death, I feel like, had a lot more catchy melodic stuff and were also brutal and technical. Suffocation's a little bit more like Cannibal Corpse. So they do have their catchy little bits, but they are definitely more brutal and in your face and just straight to the point. Not in a bad way either. So I'm definitely gonna have to listen more to Suffocation because there's a lot that they're hitting with you. So yeah, I definitely think that they're like a Cannibal Corpse 2.0. That's kind of where I'm at with it. So let me know your thoughts down below on what you think about Suffocation, what you think about these 5 songs that we did, and if you know any like backstory with the EPs and their whole like recording history, let me know. What do you think about Frank Mullen stepping down as a singer? And more importantly, what do you think about their new singer? What's his name? Is it Rick Myers? What do you think about Rick Myers as their new singer for Suffocation? And also, what do you think about their new guitarist and drummer as well that were both replaced in 2016, or I guess, you know, swapped into it in 2016. What do you think? I would like to know your thoughts as always. So thank you so much for spending time with me today. I really, really do appreciate it. If you feel like donating to our charity this month, Brother Wolf Animal Rescue, I would encourage you to do so. You certainly don't have to, but we are raising money for this charity for Thanksgiving, Thrashgiving. So our total goal is $666. So if you want to donate, if you feel like giving, please do. But I'm more just so happy that you're spending time with me, watching this video with me, and being a part of my metal journey, our metal journey. Because I know that you've subscribed already and are joined. I know, I got you. So, okay, I'm going to let you go. But I hope that you take care. I hope you're doing well. Stay tuned for so much more. I know the holidays are stressful for some, so I got you. Okay? Don't worry. Okay? The only thing I can't do is make you food for the holidays. But I can be here in spirit and be some entertainment. Okay? So, I'll see you later. Take care. Thanks for watching. Catch you in the next one.